What I love about Link Crew is that its goal is to create the perfect community through inclusion and thus acceptance of everyone around them. I also like the idea that Link Crew leaders meet with their grade 9s and they really tell them to get involved and thus have their voice heard. Nelson is a bit different in the way that we have a tremendous amount of school pride that teachers will tell you is unparalleled by any that they've ever met before. And so because of this, and truly my goal here as a teacher is to foster that pride and to make it even bigger.
Well, grade 9 is like a hard time for everybody. And I think I really wanted to help some grade 9, like help them in their first day of school, help them know what Nelson's all about, help them feel welcome, and help them have a great time in their first year, because that's going to define what the rest of their high school career is all about.
So my advice to a Link Crew leader is to be your best self always, because you never know who's going to be looking up to you.
I'm most excited to actually do extracurriculars because I know I didn't really get out there that much in grade 8.
A clean slate and new people.
Probably about the sports and the extracurricular. I love doing that stuff.
I'm most nervous because I used to get bullied a lot for my height, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen as much.
Meeting new teachers and meeting new people.
Probably just all the classes, making sure I don't get lost because it's a big school.
I love Link Crew because, well, it all started in grade 9 and I really loved my Link Crew leaders. They were the coolest people ever and they definitely set an example for who I want to be. So what better way to be as cool as them than to join Link Crew myself. And then I actually ended up liking it so much that I decided to be commissioner and go for another year.
So here at Nelson, the Link Crew process is a bit different than other schools, and that's because Link Crew, while being an extracurricular, is connected to our leadership program here at the high school as well. And we want to make sure that we get true leaders within this class and the true leaders that are going to be working with the grade 9s. And so because of that, we sort of have a rigorous process that the students have to go to. The way that this starts is at a staff meeting, we have teachers who put forth names of grade 10 students who they believe are good leaders within the school. So once I get that, I compile it and we look at students who were maybe highly recommended by 4 teachers or more for the program. After this, we have an application process that any student who is interested in fills out online. So once the students have chosen the course, then what we do is we have an interview process. So the students who have been highly recommended and have shown interest into the program are automatically accepted into the program. Other students are all interviewed by the leaders, the teacher leaders of the program, and then we meet and we go through the students one by one to discuss their strengths, perhaps their weaknesses, and see how we think they would fit with the program. We then narrow down the numbers to the number of leaders that we need for that year, depending on how many grade 9s we have coming in. And then those leaders are given an acceptance letter, and we have our group of students. So at this time, we actually get together in May and we have what we call a May training. It is an outdoor ropes course that we go to at McMaster University. And this is a time where the students, if they didn't know one another, get to know one another. They get to know us as their teacher leaders, and they also get to meet their new grade 12 commissioners, who are people who have been in the program the year before. In August, in the last week of school, we get together for 2 days, and they are full training days to be teaching the grade 11s, the new grade 11 leaders, what to do with the grade 9s on orientation day. So on orientation day, they actually spend probably about 2 hours in a classroom with their small group, leading them through activities and helping them through the process sort of the first day and thus in high school. So in the August training as well, we teach them what it means to be a leader, not just on that first orientation day, but all year round. And so we follow up with that with the students in the leadership program in the class with specific activities that we do throughout the semester. So essentially then we create meet and greets to check in with the grade 9s to see how their experience in high school is doing. And we also have in-class academic follow-ups where they actually go into the classrooms, work with their small groups, and try to teach them things that are important in high school. For instance, our first academic follow-up here is choosing the right path in high school. So what it means to maybe make what we would maybe consider a bad decision and how that can really set you back in high school and what the repercussions of that could be. So we talk about trying your best to choose the right path in high school to get to where you want to go. The second academic follow-up we run here at Nelson is to help the grade 9s prepare for exams. We find that grade 9s have a large amount of anxiety when it comes to exams because they've never had one before. And so the grade 11s then go in to tell them study methods, to let them know when their performance tasks are due, the dates that they'll be occurring, and then talking to them about the exam schedule as well. So in about mid-September, just as any school does, we have a grade 9 parent night where the parents come in and they meet with all of the teachers and the administration here at the high school. However, ours is a little bit different because while the parents go to parent night, ideally they bring their son or daughter here to the high school as well, and they come into the gym and we hold a grade 9 dance. So this dance is exclusively for grade 9s and the Link Crew leaders. Typically we have what we would call a glow dance here, which means that students can wear anything that's neon that will then glow under the UV lights. And it tends to be a pretty good time for both the leaders and the grade 9s, so we always encourage the grade 9s to come out, even though it might feel a little strange for them their second or third week of school to come to a dance already, but it tends to be a good time for all.
My advice, Mr. Lush's advice, that's what they grade 9s call me, Mr. Lush, advice for a grade 9 student. The first thing I would say is that relax. It's a new school, there's a lot of new people that you don't know, it's kind of uptight the first few days, but believe me, everybody else feels the same way. Even the big football players are nervous on their first day of school. Don't be afraid to talk to other people that you don't know because there's a lot of really cool people that you meet in grade 9. And if you stick with your original bunch of friends, you never get to meet a lot of those really cool people. So try to get involved. Don't forget to remember that everybody else is kind of nervous too, and just stay calm because it's going to be a great 4 years. That's my advice in a nutshell.